What's going on, folks? My name is Joe, aka J to the OE. Welcome back to my channel. Video games are an amazing entertainment medium. You know, the difference between movies and comics or books and video games is that instead of you reading or watching the protagonist, with a video game, you are the protagonist. You are the main character. You are controlling everything. And what's cool about books and movies and just forms of different entertainment is how they invoke different types of emotion in you. You know, there are movies that make me cry, there are books that made me cry, and there are video games that have made me cry. So this is a list of the games that have made me cry. But before we do any of that, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Oh, and as a quick caveat, I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as possible, but I will, dance around or talk about the certain things that made me cry in each of these games. So, first up are the Ori games. It's the first 5 minutes or so, how they set up the plot and how they set up the game that gets me here. Just especially with that owl, man. That owl and oh my gosh. It's crazy. But yeah, Ori and Will-O-the-Wisps, Ori and the Blind Forest, these are actually really, really great and so beautiful Metroidvanias. It's almost like an impossible port to the Switch. I mean, it looks amazing on Xbox, and it looks amazing here as well. Yeah, you can tell the difference, but I mean, it's the Switch. But it's still really, really great. So, the Ori games are some of the games that made me cry. Another game that made me cry is a PS3 port, which is Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. And yeah, this is a turn-based RPG, kind of Pokemon-ish. You're capturing monsters and stuff. But the premise of this game, like how this little dude comes out, oh my gosh. I was in tears. That was crazy. I mean, this guy was crying as well, but so was I. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And yeah, it was one of those ugly tears that I couldn't stop really crying, and it was bad. But really great game. Another game is it's a limited run game, and it's an indie game. It's called To the Moon. Now, I mean, the premise is already really sad. So there's this guy, he's growing old, and you play as scientists that are able to kind of hack into their minds and fulfill their last wish. And one of their last wish is to go to the moon before they die. And yeah, you go through the story of him falling in love with his wife and all of that, and just the whole thing really, really got me. I'm not gonna say whether or not you got to fulfill his dream. But it was really touching. It was really good. It's a short story as well, so if I look at this as one of those, it is an indie game, so it's like one of those indie movies that just really, really hits you here. And yeah, really great. Really, lots of reading, but a really great playthrough. And I'll probably play it again. The last Switch game I want to talk about is Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, there's one part that got me here, and the part that got me here is the entire Master Sword quest, and the last part of that Master Sword quest. That got me surprisingly. I'm like, oh wow, what is this? Is somebody cutting onions? And man, this overall was a great game. Like, when this came out, I took 3 days off of work just to play it, and it was amazing. And I really want to play Breath of the Wild in this back-to-back again. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is one of the games that really, really made me cry. Especially that mission. Really good. Another game that made me cry is Red Dead Redemption 2. So, the first game, you knew all about John Marston, and you knew what was going to happen to him at the end. And you kind of knew what was going to happen here. But Arthur Morgan, man, whoo! Just the way his last moments here. I mean, Arthur isn't in the first game, okay? So it's not really a spoiler, but you knew that you weren't going to make it. And man, that's that way he went, that way in the mountaintop and the sunset and how beautiful and how sad it all was. Well, man, that got me. That just got me. And so Red Dead Redemption 2, a really, really great Western simulator. You know, I play this every once in a while, just kind of ride around. It's amazing. Like, the graphics here are amazing, especially for an Xbox One, PS4 game. Like, this was beautiful. This was a beautiful game, a really touching and great story. And, man, I really hope there's a 3 out there and we could just be in this world again, because this was amazing. So Red Dead Redemption 2, another tear-jerker, especially at the end here. The Walking Dead Telltale. I think this was the first game that got me. I really don't want to say a lot, but for those of you who've played it, you guys know what I'm talking about. Man, just between these two characters, it's, man. So, The Walking Dead Telltale, a lot of these Telltale games actually like pull on the heartstrings a little bit, you know, but this is the only one that really got me. And yeah, that was just so sad. If you know, you know. And man, I don't want to reveal it anymore because actually it's really worth it. You should play this game. You should really, really play this game. It's a great game. Keeping in the Sony theme, Shadow of the Colossus. You know? The horse. That's all. Damn. Like, it's a great game. I feel it's a game full of boss battles. The art is amazing, especially like this version. You know, PS3 is good too, and all of that. Like, but this is, you know, the graphics are upgraded, and this was a great version for it. But yeah, that scene, man. Like, what the heck? I didn't even know if it was necessary, but man, yeah, that's all I got. That was tough. Okay. And the last game, or games that really got me, are a two for the Last of Us series. The ending here really got me, and this got me in the middle, if you know what I'm talking about, and at the end as well. These are meant, and the giraffe scene, man, like, oh, how beautiful, like, it's, oh, actually, and the first 5 minutes, like, yeah, these games got me. And especially as a dad now. So I played both of these games when it first came out, 2020. Juan was born in 2021, and then the series came out last year, 2023, and so it made me want to play it again. And I gotta tell you, as a dad, so different. Such a different experience to play these two games. And yeah, I don't know what I would do, quite frankly. I don't know, you know. But yeah, this got me. This got me. And the last game that made me cry, again, especially as a dad, was Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain, regardless of that Jason scene.
Jason! Jason!
But honestly, that's one of my biggest fears whenever I go out with my kid, is that I would lose him. Like, that I would lose my kid. And, yeah, so this was, but spoiler alert, by the way. But yeah, this kind of got to my biggest fears. And honestly, there were all these decisions like, oh, should I do this? Would I do that? They were easy for me. I just got to find my son. Bam, yeah, I'll do that. It's not a hard move. I will do anything to my character so that I can find my son. Wasn't that hard. And so, but the poignancy, the moments of him just losing Jason and losing just his kids was crazy. And so, yeah, this really made kind of just tugged on my heartstrings and my biggest fear, essentially. And yeah, that made me tear up, that made me cry. So, what about you guys? What are some games that made you cry, that made you tear up, that made you feel something? That's what's really great about games, man. Like, it it's such an amazing art medium where you are the character and it's happening to you, and you feel a good game makes you feel the things that the character feels. And yeah, through the art, through the music, through all of that, it just really tugs on your heartstrings, and I think that's amazing. And so, what are the games that kind of touched you and made you cry? I'm interested to be hearing it and see what else I can play, because sometimes, you know, it's good to get into that. It's good to get into that in yourself. And yeah, so thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later, or I'll see you another time.